Hey guys, welcome to Grounded Roots Healing. I am Jason. I am the owner of said channel. So I had some inspiration this morning. Been thinking about something for quite a while now, and it's starting to make a lot of sense. So I'm going to try to convey it to you guys, and hopefully it helps you find some peace in this crazy world. So what has been revealed to me, essentially, is the way I look at this now, is another level of understanding of how this play, this game that we're in, works. So we are creations of the divine in our entirety. I've said this a bunch, but our bodies are products of the planet, which just is a portion of the divine, let's say the feminine portion, the planet. Our bodies are not separate from it at all, energetically, physically. They're complete productions of it. These are the vehicles we pilot. And by we, I mean our higher selves, which are the masculine divine souls, chakra systems. They project down into these avatars. We pilot these and we go on these wonderful adventures we call lives, forgetting that we're outside of time. We've existed forever. There is no time. It's an experiment. And in that way, each one of us is an experiment in awakening. So the way I've envisioned this now is a linear axis, another linear axis, time, or you can think of it as years of your life on the vertical, and then, wait a minute, no, that vertical will be level of awakening, and then on the horizontal axis you'd have time, or years of your life. So we start off awake. We're born into these bodies. We have, as children, completely awake. Many children, if you've had the pleasure of having some in your life at a young age, have memories of before they came here. I've had this amazing experience myself. So they start off awake, and then social conditioning puts us back to sleep. Now for me, this happened at the age of 7, where I had a traumatic event in my life, and the social conditioning from the village that I grew up in, as parents, society, the whole thing, made me forget my divinity. And this is on purpose. This is how would the experiment work if we didn't forget that we were divine? You wouldn't be able to experience separateness. You wouldn't be able to experience good and bad, because there is no such thing on the other side. It's an experiment to experience things that would otherwise be impossible. So as we start off as little kids, awake, then we get crushed back to sleep. Or in my case, this is what happened. At the age of 7, I separated from my body, and I lost the connection to my body and a lot of other things. And for me, I stayed asleep completely. Like, almost completely. There was little flickers of awakening to my divinity. Then, in 2013, I had a partial awakening. I was watching a video by Eckhart Tolle. The division between the earthly brain and my higher conscious self became apparent. I snapped out of it, and I was staring at the world with new eyes. So it was this, and then this. Then I stayed awake, so to speak, for about 6 months, I would say, and then slowly fell back asleep, and then I plateaued. And then on that plateau, from 2014 to 2023, when I had my Enlightenment period, I had a slow progression of awakening. I was slowly realizing things. And then in 2023, in Christmas, shot full awake, full awareness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, aware of my oneness with Source. I could not be shaken, could not be deterred from my knowledge. Then 3 days later, partially asleep, but unable to not ever go back completely because I'd seen what's on the other side. And then for the last 2 years, I've been slowly getting back to the full awake position. That is the profile of my awakening journey thus far in my life. I hope the end of this goes parabolic, and I know it is, because it has been. This has been a quick awakening process, and it's the way that it was written for me by myself, in agreement with others, because we are intricately tied to many other people in our lives, which are just fractals of us. In the end, we're all one. We're all projections of Source into these projections of Source. So, where are the lines? There's only, I've said this as well, an upside down cone. So as you awaken and your awareness opens, your perception goes higher, let's say. I have basically a tank outside my window here. I'm at a work site. Your perception of understanding of what this awakening journey is widens as you go higher, and it doesn't stop until you get back to God. Now, the blueprint of my awakening, let's say, shaped in a certain way, is one particular experiment, and it's intertwined with many, many other people. Now, their profile might be different. My wife, for example, she started off awake as a kid, only partially went back to sleep. Then basically slowly kept awakening her whole life. She had conditioning and she had behavioral patterns that were forced onto her by society, on purpose. Again, remember, this is all agreed to by ourselves. But her awakening path was open from the beginning, let's say. And then she's slowly awakening more and more as different things would happen in your life. But she's always known that there was more, never forgot. And then in one day, our charts cross. This was in 2013. Then they separated again. She stayed awake, I went back to sleep, sort of. At least from where I was in 2013 at the high. Went back to sleep, she stayed awake. She was above me. Her perception was like in a wiser position, you would say. And then in 2023, we meet again. And I shot like a bolt. But she's been with me the entire time. So our charts were meant to go this way. Her experiment and my experiment are overlaid on top of each other, and we're going to continue on up the awakening journey. And now your chart will be completely different. So which one of these is better? Which style or chart or graph of awakening, blueprint for awakening is the better version? There is no such thing. They're all of equal value. If you stay asleep till the very last minute and then you shoot awake and realize everything, it's just as valuable an experiment as mine. It's just different. It's Source sorting out a way to experience all the different multiplicities of existence and the ways of getting back to source. This is what this whole game is. So you can't screw this up. There's nothing you can do wrong. You can't manifest things out of nothing unless you're ready. Unless on your chart you've hit a sufficient level of understanding and awakening where that type of thing will start to happen to you. But that won't happen before. And if it does happen before, you'll lose it. You'll lose it because you're not supposed to be there yet. These layers of charts are stacked on top of each other. They're all intertwined. It's like a hyperlink text. My story is intertwined with Amanda's, as Amanda's is intertwined with 1,000 other people, and mine with 1,000 others. And they're all interconnected. Maybe it's only one transition point where our charts cross on the awakening path, but rest assured, everybody on this planet is interlocked, intertwined in some way. It's a hyperlinked computer program, essentially. It's an experiment. You're running an experiment. And like I said, you can't screw this up. Many of us will have had to have lost everything. This was written in. Lost your job, lost your home, lost your wife, lost your family, all to experience loss, to become an expert in loss. It's hard to take. It's a hard pill to swallow, let's say. But like I said, we're here to experience things we can't experience otherwise, like fear. And the majority of the driving behaviors of the earthly derived brain, the monkey mind as I call it, are fear-based. It's an attempt to control, to figure out future events, predict them, so you can stay safe based on historical occurrences. So when we're in our monkey mind, asleep to our conscious higher selves, let's say, we don't know. Therefore, this world's a scary place. We don't realize that we're on a chart. Our path has been charted. And this place is scary. But what good does it do living from that place? I just watched a video by Eckhart Tolle on his webpage. And of course I feel way better after listening to one short video by that guy, because his energy is incredible. And he knows he's looking from a very high perspective, down on the goings on and what's playing out in this hyperlinked text that we're all living in. And he can see, he knows that fear is the driving force of the human brain. And it's all perspective. If you look from a higher perspective, you see the futility in worrying about future events. If there is something that is challenging in your 3D world, in your physical world, you deal with it in the now. All fear comes from worrying over what's going to come in the future. It's fear-driven thinking, and the results are futility. You cannot predict it. You can't change it. You certainly can't change any of the stuff that you think about in the past. So why do you sit in that and marinate? The wise person learns to look from a higher perspective. And that wisdom will only come when it's supposed to come, not before. Your awakening chart will not be altered. It's going to happen exactly as it should. You wrote it that way. You're God, you're running an experiment, and you forgot that's what you're doing. The witch to which there is no witcher. Playing out a divine play here on this earthly realm, which is just a energetic creation for us to experience this stuff in. So let go with the flow. I think I'll leave it there. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. That's a very profound statement. And as I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you soon.